And today we have a special session about the fiqh, the etiquette of fasting, because Ramadan is one of the month that is so special, just like Yusuf among his brothers. Yusuf, he was the best son for Yaqub, peace be upon all of them. And Ramadan is the best month, most beloved to Allah the Almighty. We all know in the story of Yusuf that he saw the things, and Ramadan, he's one of the 12 months that Allah created, and it is the most beloved to Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the comparison that Ibn al-Jawzi put between Ramadan and the month and Yusuf and his brothers. And we all know the story where one of his brothers said, "Don't kill him. Do not put him in the well. Don't give him away. May he will benefit us." And we remind everybody that Ramadan is very short month. They are counted days. You cannot slow down, and does not need laziness. And every time your soul asks you to be lazy, remember these are only few days. They will pass very quickly. The fasting, my dear brothers, it's meaning to hold. Even if you hold back on talking, it called fasting. Just like Zakaria said, or said, I will make a fasting, I will not speak to anybody today. This fasting, it is to stop eating the urges of the gut and the private part, hoping to get closer to Allah the Almighty. In the Quran, Allah saying, it was permitted for you the night of the fasting to have sexual intercourse with your wife. They are your garment, you are their garment. Allah knew that you used to test yourself, and He repented on you and He forgave you. So now you could get to them and get what Allah has written for you, and eat and drink until it is clear to you the white and from the black thread. Then continue the fasting until night, and do not touch them when you are making i'tikaf in the masjid. These are the boundaries of Allah. Do not exceed it. That's how Allah is showing you His signs to people, so they might be God conscious. The fasting of Ramadan, as it is all known, it is one of the pillars of Islam. One of the pillars that Islam is founded on. And it is very authenticated in the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It is by certainty. It is what is known in religion by necessity, and rejecting it is disbelieving Allah and reverting from Islam. And to put it lightly, and the new Muslims, those who are ignorant about Islam, you give them some time till they understand fully what Islam is about. This obligation, it was obligated the second year after Hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ to Medina. The Prophet ﷺ, he died and he has fasted 9 Ramadans in Medina. How do you verify the month? The way to do it, to see with your naked eye. And you could use any telescope for that. There is dispute if you see it 1 or 2, how many people do you need to have to verify it? Some they want it like a group of people. It's a very flexible matter, it's not that side. To prove the month or its finish, it is a matter of the administrative one. It's under the authority of the ruler. You take it to the fatwa, the public fatwa in the area that people had agreed on that person. So people need to follow his saying and should not dispute what he had decided. To combine people into one word, one idea, one rule. The one who decided this in the East, and it was not of dispute, that there is a reference that people go in every country. They fast depending on the fatwa of the people of that area. That's why they are united. In the unfortunate, you don't see this in the West. It's partially accomplished. There is still some dispute, but inshallah, it's vanishing as we see nowadays. Alhamdulillah. If it is clouded on us, then we continue Shaban 30 days. We look at the crescent on the 29th. If it was not seen, then you could continue. And the same thing if it is cloudy. The fasting of Ramadan is obligatory on every Muslim who reach the age of puberty and who is sane, because the kids, you practice, they give them to practice fasting, but without forcing them, what makes it hard for them. The companions, they used to make their kids fast and then bring them the wool play so they can play with it. So they'll be distracted from hungry until the time of the food comes down. It is forbidden on the person who has a period and the one who just had a baby. It's not allowed for the woman who had her period to fast. Also, the woman who just gave a birth is still bleeding. And it is permitted for the person who is traveling if it is going to weaken him, and the one who is sick if it's going to overburden him. Recommended for the kids to get used to it as much as they can until they reach the age of purity, and then it is required for them to reach to fast. So as far as the male to get 15 to have his semen and also to have the hair around the private part, and the woman to have to be 15 years old to have the private part, and also to come with, I mean, to have semen with the urge, and also with her period. If she had her period, then she have reached purity, even if she is in 10 years old. How about the insane? The insane is not required. He's not obligatory because Allah Azza wa Jal obligates you whatever you are capable of doing. So if he took what you can't, then he have took out what he have obligated. Whomever who is crazy sometimes, and then he can fast during when he is sane, not insane. When he's required, and the times when he is crazy. Whoever passed out, and the one who is absent-minded because he is under anesthesia, you don't expect them to fast, but the question, are they required to redo those when their brain is was not absent? This is something disputed between the scholars, because some who said it's not obligatory, and some of the scholars they took a dispute from what is long. The elders, who are the blessing of our lives that are hidden, whoever reach the age of old age where they can't remember or comprehend, no, he's not required. Because if Allah taken what he taken, then he took out. But if he understands sometimes and don't understand sometimes, or forget sometimes and he remember, then he can fast. So the one who had a period, they will be sinned if they perform fasting. But what about if one during the day she her period stopped, and that's by dryness or to see the white discharge? It is recommended for her to hold the time that she get purified to honor the month, and that day she need to compensate. But about the rest, does she fast or not? Some who said yes, it is recommended because of the secrecy of this month. It's not required anyway. Taking the pills to reduce or to slow the period, you're not supposed to fight the nature of the human, because Allah wants the woman to be free, just like the companions before they stopped. But but also she should not be fasting if it's going to harm her. And you talk to the experts about this, the doctors, and so. And the period, it is the dark blood that is known by its smell and its thickness. But the discharges that happens with that, which is brown or the bleeding, the one who's bleeding, this is called istihada. It's not period, so should not stop the fasting, and it's not does not have the time of the one who had her period. The one who just gave a baby, once he stops, then she has the same rule that she needs to hold from eating. If it's not, she need to 40 days the maximum she could be on that special status. Because other than that, will be istihada, which means it's not. The fasting and traveling. Allah said whomever was sick or traveling to compensate in some other days. What is allowed for the traveler? What is agreed upon the scholars in Islam? It's one of the ease that Allah Azza wa Jal has given to the nation of Muslims, the followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Some who said it is obligated on the traveler to break his fast, but it is allowed but not obligated, because he alayhi salatu wasalam fasted in traveling, and his companions with him, some who were fasting, some who were not. He did not blame anybody who fasted or those who broke their fast. The traveling, it is one of the reasons to break your fast, whether there is harm or pain, and that's different from nursing. But the nursing, there's a lot of hardship that comes to the woman in her body. The breastfeeding is not one of the brokers of the fast, but the harm that comes from doing so. Even if you're traveling first class and you have private airplane and you have people to serve, you still have that excuse to break your fast. Originally in traveling, it is a piece of punishment, or if that was not the hadith, people. And there is a difference between the wisdom. Here, traveling is the problem. The wisdom, it is the hardship, and this is not going to. Is different. It is something that is not settled, it's not controlled, and the Sharia allowed with the allowed that. The distance for traveling, according to the major scholars, 50 miles, 80 kilometers. Anything that is considered traveling is traveling. And it is more safeguarding. But if we ask, which one it is better to the traveler, to fast or to break his fast? Whatever is more compassionate to him. If it is more, it's not going to be hard on him to in traveling, then it is better to fast. Why? Because he is fasting with the Muslims, and he is making the fasting in the month of Ramadan, which Allah multiply the reward. But if it's going to harm him or it's going to be very hard on him, that's when we hear that this is not from piety to fast in traveling. And the majority of the scholars that the traveler he don't have the reason of traveling unless he started with that's just the intention. You have to leave the town. Like he would reach to the airport example. Once he traveled, then he could start the the rest of not fasting. Wallahu alam. So the one who's traveling and he had the excuse to travel to break his fast, then he came back before Maghrib time in the days of Ramadan. He can continue his break in the fast because he already missed it up. I mean, already broke his fast earlier. So he could continue without fasting. If he hold it because of the respect for the month, it is okay. At least he should not expose it, so he will not be thought that he is rejecting the fasting or he got problem in his faith. I mean, someone is saying the traveler who is becoming to travel a lot, the one who drives trucks, they are always traveling. What do they do? As long as he got a home to go back to, so he's traveling until he goes back to his home. This person, he is more required to have other people. And even with the traveling, you have to redo it every day. So he have sometimes what happens, there will be a disturbance at the day and night. The night will be too long or vice versa. As long there is a difference between day and night, even 1 hour, then you still fast according to this from dawn until dusk. And whomever it is very hard for him, then he could use the excuse of uh, extra burden and make the qada. But originally, if it is wrong, you could distinguish between day and night, then he should be in his fasting according to the timing that are known, since there is a difference between day and night. But I want you to know that sometimes that extends more than 24 hours, or the day more than 24 hours, and it happens in some areas. In that situation, you go with the timing of the closest area to them. That is differentiate the day and night. Also, from the thing is known of the fasting, I live in Houston and I spend Eid with the Muslims. I travel to a different country and they're still fasting. Do عشان if you already broke my fast and I travel to a different country and they were fasting, I don't have to fast and don't have to publicize that I'm different. So it does not cause a conflict. And also, whomever traveled after sunset, and he should not. My if I'm in Houston, that's sunset. After an hour, uh, the plane has took off, but still, when you go up, you'll see the sun. So what? You don't have to hold your food. With the difference of the schools, and when Ramadan comes in and when it goes out, whomever fasts in an area is Eid. Well, you have to look if what they have fasted less than 28. He need to make Eid with the people, and then he need to make up for that extra day because the Shura cannot have 28 days for the month. It has to be either 29 or 30. So you need to make up for that day. But you make a store with the Muslims, with the congregation, with the group. Because the Prophet ﷺ said the fasting is when you fast, and the break your fast when you all break your fast, and the Adha is when you are slaughtered, when the Hajj makes slaughtering. And even if you have to be the other way around, if you have to fast more extra day, that's okay. Nothing will be wasted with Allah Azza wa Jal. The sick, the sick also they could compensate some other day. It is enough that he oversums that it is. How do you do it? Either the personal or those who are sick with their sickness, or the doctor Muslim who tell them about that. And some of the scholars, it is okay the non-Muslim if he is known to be truthful. If he, uh, but if the disease is very severe, he should not. And forbidden if it's going to destroy the person, is going to kill him. And whomever is sick, he could have the intention of breaking the fast in that night, and he should not. Uh, and if he knew, or from the doctor, is going to cause him to pass out, no, he should need to break his fast. This is for the sickness that happened all of a sudden. But about the permanent one, the not expected, the like somebody get too old, he cannot fast, or he will have uh, then it will change from fasting to feeding the needy. Because Allah said, for those who cannot, is to pay the fidya to feed one person from among the middle of what you eat. Alhamdulillah for his ease and his flexibility and his gift to him. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك